and make people go home, essentially. This crowd does not want to go home.
Yeah. Go ahead, Paul.
No, I was just saying, you see on the periphery some demonstrators starting to put up their arms in that don't shoot type pose. So they're obviously anticipating some type of encounter with police here.
And our producers are telling us that there is a small group gathering outside U.S. Bank right now. But as far as we can tell, this looks like the largest standoff that we have going on right now in Minneapolis. So we're keeping eyes on this for you.
Go up at all.
Yeah, but it looks like, especially the group on the lower right-hand corner, is about to engage with people who are still there. And we have already seen tear gas, we've seen flashbangs, and we know that if people don't move, they will continue to deploy those methods to get people to clear the area, because they've asked that people just get off the streets tonight and go home.
To sort of help you understand where everybody is, so what's happening, you can see as we pan to the left here, you're going to see what you're seeing on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That's right there. That's where those officers are. So just to give you some perspective, we're on the ground on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Now we're back over by the Bobby and Steve's, which is on the other side of the freeway, and that's where our Paul Bloom is. And that's where most of these protesters have now gathered after coming off of the interstate, after having basically a bit of a face-off. It really wasn't. They didn't get very close to the National Guard, but they went down onto the freeway at 8 o'clock as the curfew started. And then at some point, law enforcement started to squeeze in on both sides, and they decided to go back up. There was some tear gas.
Now we have a vehicle on the move here. So, they're preparing and moving in formation towards something. There's another vehicle getting ready to move. So.
And we knew it would be a matter of time. We knew that the state at this point was meaning business when they said 8 o'clock, go home. We saw that last night. It worked well. We didn't have, any sort of, okay. I'm told we're getting a new tweet from Minneapolis Police. Kelsey, do you want to?
Sure, there's a large group of peaceful protesters on Washington Avenue at 35W. Traffic blocked in both directions. Individuals within this group have been observed diffusing others who are showing aggression or anger. And that's, again, what we're hearing about what happened with the driver of the tanker, too, that there are people who are diffusing the anger. And again, they made sure to mention that this is a peaceful group. This started as a peaceful march earlier today. But we have two different competing, missions here. And the mission of the protesters is they want to continue to stay out and have their voices heard. And law enforcement wants to move people off the streets, get them home, and protect property tonight. So I don't know if we still have Paul over there, Bobby and Steve's. If you can see.
Yeah, I do.
We
can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
How come you guys are leaving?
I'm just backing up a little bit. I'm just seeing what's going on with the cops and where they're coming, and just trying to stay as safe as we can.
What are you guys concerned about down there? What did you see that brought you back?
There's a giant group of cops and SWAT van, everything moving in. It's starting to slowly move in. There's probably at least 100 over there. Yeah, they already threw a couple of flashbangs and gas coming up here.
Yep.
Were you guys on the freeway when that tanker plowed into you?
No, we were not.
We were on 38th in Chicago when we heard about that.
So what's the plan for tonight? Is there a sort of an organized plan to what's happening?
We don't know. We're just we're here just supporting. We're just out here supporting.
And you guys are peaceful, doing your thing, sending the message. And what message is that tonight?
That we need to unite. And we just need to be here for each other and to support each other in the best way that we can, without any violence, without burning shit down. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, understood. And so you did see the dynamic, the law enforcement in that formation. Yep. Oh, here are they.
Yep,
is this them? They're coming to move. So we're going to back up, but we'll keep our shot as long as we can, guys. Okay. But we are going to move a little bit back here. Let's see what they have in mind. We're not well marked as media at the minute in terms of getting out in front of this. But
Yep, we can see people starting to retreat a little bit.
Crowd's moving.
We need to get back, Paul, because Nate said we got protesters coming up the other side.
Oh, and now I see on the... Nate, do me a favor, just whip around. You can see police have blocked them in on the Washington Avenue to block off downtown. We're starting to see a line formation. Bike police, Minneapolis police are setting it up. So they're gonna set up something here. So we're gonna move ourselves out. We have a escape vehicle that we'll probably drop back to.
Yep,
Nate will keep that shot, but for as long as he can, you may lose my microphone here.
Okay, Paul.
But that is what's occurring. You can see the strategy here in terms of, we saw it on the actual freeway with underneath the bridge. I think, is that some flash bangs? No.
Paul,
Yeah.
are there still ways that
Okay.
people can disperse and leave this area, or
I'm trying, Nate.
is every outlet blocked off?
Well, no, we were on a side street, and I wish I had a better sense of what the side street is behind Bobby and Steve's is, but that's where our vehicle is, and we can get down there. It kind of goes behind US Bank Stadium.
Building's falling apart now.
Oh, you need to tell Dan.
And we got one angle from here that maybe we'll get some view from,
Well, it is interesting. So they'll have
but they are
aerial-
not going to be allowed to go.
Guys, we need to
All right.
get this one out.
Paul's on the
Nate,
move,
security
being
task
told to
force to
move
go.
right now. And, you know, they'll have aerial surveillance here. And as we saw last night, you'll see these lines of law enforcement starting to form barricades and start to block intersections, to block certain key areas off and to move the crowds out.
He's in his car.
Okay.
And we can still hear Paul's microphone here. And Paul, just jump in when you want to. Let us know what's happening here. We've been watching law enforcement here. They've been staying stationary and not moving forward, but they're obviously ready for something. So at some point, we're probably going to see them moving toward one of these groups. And there have been several warnings for people to go home. The curfew began at 8 o'clock. But these protesters have been through a lot today.
Yeah.
And the emotion is high, especially after what happened on the 35W bridge.
So going back to even earlier this afternoon, Kelsey, the larger protest that began this afternoon was at about...
Well, some of them, like St. Paul, began around noon. There was a large group that gathered at the Capitol. I'm not sure how early the group in Minneapolis gathered, but it was before 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And around 4 o'clock is when both groups, the one from St. Paul and the one from Minneapolis, started to move toward the interstates.
And so I know the group from US Bank Stadium ended up making its way down toward 35W and the 35W bridge, and that was, I'm not sure the exact time they started making their way down there, but at 5 o'clock, we do know that MnDOT was going to be shutting down the roads. This is Paul's camera inside his car right now. This is...
Yeah, so we
And
just
okay.
we had a large convoy of squad cars just come down. They are undertaking some type of strategic maneuver to box in these protesters. We are on the move. We're coming up onto 11th Avenue South, and we'll see if we can get a better look at where those cops went. They're blocking the backside, Nate, over there, of the backside of US Bank Stadium, and of course we saw the bike cops move on Washington Avenue towards from downtown towards the 35W freeway system. But yeah, we're moving out to keep a safe distance and try to process what we're watching.
Hey, Paul, I just want to make a real quick mention. You see the windshield there is cracked. That's actually, this was Christina Palladino's and photojournalist Eli, their vehicle last night that was hit by a law enforcement canister. So that what you see right there on the windshield happened last night.
It is a rubber bullet, yeah, that hit Christina Palladino's crew at the very beginning, basically 24 hours ago now. And so we're at a position now where to our right is blocked in by Minneapolis squads flashing lights. That is right behind US Bank Stadium. And then to the left, obviously, if we were to take that left, we'd hit Washington Avenue. So we'll see. Our driver is going to have to make a decision about which way to go. And we're headed this way to the left.
Is there any
And,
traffic?
anyway, so-
Is there any traffic control for people who are in cars just to figure out a way to get out of there?
No, no, I feel like we're driving in circles like some of the cars in front of us. I mean, law enforcement has descended on this area. Some of the cars I assume probably are demonstrators that jumped in vehicles. Some may be media like us. There are some people off on the sidewalks, just walking away peacefully, not wanting to engage any further. But we'll take this right and come up towards Washington Avenue, which I'm going to guess, no, it's not blocked. So we'd have a chance to take a left there, going into downtown. If we went right, that would be going towards Bobby and Steve's and that scene that was playing out on the Washington Avenue Bridge.
It's not a good sign when you're going in circles trying to get yourself out of this situation. So hopefully people will be able to find a safe way out.
Yeah, Paul, I know you're just in one area here.
Right.
Are you able to tell, though, how many protesters might still be out there on the streets? Earlier we were dealing with a crowd of 5,000 to 6,000, and I just wonder what that's been whittled down to right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's an impossible just to say. And plus, I've lost eyes altogether. You may remember I started this afternoon in St. Paul and a group that went on I-94 and doubled back around there that I know St. Paul was concerned about. So you had that crowd and you have this crowd. You know, I mean, to be fair, again, we saw a lot of people peel off after each of these incidents. After the freeway tanker incident, people went home. Just careful. We're in a bad spot now where cars are stopped, so we're going to try to make a maneuver here to get out of there. The security guys feel there's some kind of concern.
Okay. You know, Paul,
some blasts in the distance there on Washington Avenue. There looked like there was a pretty good crowd as we come up on Gold Medal Park and the river itself.
You know, Minneapolis
so there is some
police
space to move down here.
Hey, Paul, Minneapolis police did just tweet out a minute ago that the curfew went into effect at 8. Emergency alert was sent to cell phones at 7:45. Kind of a reminder of the warnings they put out there. Law enforcement is approaching crowds to enforce the curfew. So they're telling us right now they're going to approach these crowds to enforce the curfew.
If you can. Yeah, you got a good vantage point.
Yeah, so I mean, I totally understand that. I reported that, yeah, we all had our phones go off in the downtown corridor at 7:45. I think we're going to be able to get ourselves to a spot on Washington Avenue and be able to hop out here and give you a little bit of a perspective on that standoff that's developing. We're several blocks away now, but we do feel comfortable. We are going to make a jump here and hopefully give you a little perspective on what we may be seeing.
And Paul, we're just taking a look now at some video from our chopper. This is live video of the parking lot of Bobby and Steve's. And it looks like there are still dozens of people in that parking lot, but they are starting to disperse. Some of them are running. Some of them don't.
You can see
like
the flashbangs there coming across.
There we go. Yeah.
And
they're
people
seeing
moving.
some flashbangs from above.
And we see law enforcement here moving. So at the top of the screen, you can see law enforcement moving in. This is a much smaller crowd. I think a lot of people have dispersed. So you can see the flashbangs again, and you can see the smoke there, perhaps from tear gas. And they're moving in on these crowds. So you can see from the top right now, more law enforcement officials surrounding groups. You can see all around. They've created a circle around this crowd at Bobby and Steve's now. And they are, again, the flashbang. You can see those flashes. They are trying to move people out and get them out of downtown. Okay, that's fine. Let's just stay with this as they continue. But again, it's not a huge crowd. There probably aren't, the thousands of people that we saw earlier. The crowds have dispersed and moved in there just in small groups now, like this one.
And it is hard to tell. We're a little far away here, but you can see the line of law enforcement and then what looks like the crowd in the middle, and it's kind of hard to tell in between just how, but you can see the circle that they've made around them as well. But it looks like there are some people who maybe are saying, okay, I'm going to leave now, but they really have nowhere to go.
And you can hear from Paul, it is a little bit confusing. There's sorry about that. We just dipped out for a second, but we're back. Just a few technical issues, but we're here. And it's confusing because you have people walking in the streets and there's traffic and there's confusion about where to go because a lot of streets have been blocked off. And you could hear that from Paul as he was driving around today just a little bit ago, trying to find which streets they could pull off on and where they could go. And, you know, earlier today, when we had the group all on the 35W bridge and their point was to go back to US Bank Stadium, there was an organized method to this protest march. And then once the tanker truck came through, it created just pockets of people going everywhere and a lot of chaos and confusion and then emotion. Running high once again, people not wanting to leave.
I think Paul Bloom is ready for us to come back to him. Paul, are you there?
Yeah, we're just on foot now on Washington Avenue, pushing back towards that Bobby and Steve's gas station. Of course, you know, you kind of do wonder if there's going to be a second line of law enforcement.
They took one at the Capitol earlier. Bicycles just got thrown into the traffic lane. They're trying to clear these cars out of here so that they can move them back up, it looks like. They're hitting people with batons to make them release the bicycle that this guy is holding on to. I can't get any closer without getting run over, so you're just going to bear with me. But there's a real scrum going on over there as they fight for control of that bicycle. Thank you, thank you. Okay. We've seen protesters hit with batons 2 days in a row now. We saw it on the Highway 50 exit ramp where they failed to get onto the freeway. We saw it at the Capitol earlier this afternoon when the CHP formed a line. The demonstrators are announcing on the bullhorn that they want to go back to the Capitol. One of the organizers is telling them, let's go back to the Capitol. You can see there's a huge crowd on the overpass. I think they would really prefer not to have to detain them. They'd be out here all night long. They're going back to the Capitol. The man with the bullhorn keeps announcing. Protesters flipping them off. The officers are yelling, the sergeant's yelling, get off the freeway, get off the freeway. And they are slowly but surely, they're giving up the ground that they gained. Okay, they're firing flashbangs at the people hanging over the railing because they were throwing things at the officers from up there. Watch this. Watch this. So they're exploding over their heads up there. It's mainly meant to scare them, and it's doing a good job because most of them have run away from their perch. And they've stopped throwing things, which is good for me as well because I don't have a helmet. He's got his flashbang launcher here. Yes, sir. Gotcha.
Stay in this area here.
Sure. Okay, the protesters say they're going back to the Capitol. He's trying to decide whether he needs to deploy another one of these. Here comes a water bottle from up above, and he did deploy it because they're continuing to throw things, and they're hitting the demonstrators. They just threw a rock. They're throwing rocks. They're throwing water bottles. Of course, these officers have got helmets, protective gear. See a whole line of CHP cars coming up the freeway to help out. They've pretty much cleared the demonstrators from this perch they had up here, but they're still getting pelted with water bottles from the overpass. Sorry. And it looks like these officers are going to try and clear them off that overpass with a couple of flashbangs. You may not need to use them. Okay, I'm going to go back up the ramp, get out of these guys' way. looks like they may have detained one person. Yes, they had a convoy of 3 cars, and it looks like they've detained 2 people who were in that car. I don't know what happened to the other 2 cars, if they didn't get onto the freeway, but yeah, and they're throwing rocks at me now. And I don't have a helmet, so fortunately the officers are still deploying their flashbangs, as you can see right here. No, I know, they threw one right at me. That's fine, thank you. They're still throwing things. So they've detained 2 people. The 2 people who were in one of the cars that was acting as kind of a convoy for the group. But the rest, the people who were on foot and who were on bicycles, were all pushed back up. They finally agreed to leave. Well, it looks like they've got this thing under control, and I am going to get out of here and back up the ramp. He just fired again. They're trying to keep them from throwing things onto these officers. There's a drone overhead as well. People are cursing at the officers. They're still firing them. Really all they do is they explode. They do not want those people overhead. They're making that very clear. They don't want any more things thrown at them, especially because you're going to have traffic on this freeway shortly. And they want to make sure nothing gets onto those cars, nothing gets thrown onto them, creates some kind of a hazard. Well, I'm going to see if I can figure out where the protest has gone. Another day in Sacramento. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We're still trying to get them off of there. Okay, I'm being careful. I can honestly say, in 38 years in the business. I've done a lot of things, but I've not walked onto an active freeway, especially the main north-south artery through California, through the West Coast. But now I have, so there's that. So the officers are waiting now because they want these demonstrators who are up on the fence line out of here. They want them out of here. They just want them all out of here. They were throwing things from both the overpass and from the side of the freeway. They were hitting some of the officers. They threw a rock at me. See this line of CHP is making sure these guys aren't coming back, and the stragglers are making their way through. And then it's a question of, do they keep marching? Does this antagonize them to do more? Or do they feel some sense of victory? Because they did shut the freeway down in both directions for a while. And that's been their goal. And if you were watching, you saw that motorist I interviewed who was stuck there, was not particularly perturbed about it. He understands civil disobedience and the need for people to pay attention to what's going on in the world. He's on his way to Merced.
Grenadier, sponge round!
Some demonstrators and a National Lawyers Guild person having some kind of conversation. Looks like somebody felt, well, that's the National Guild lawyer rep. They're all, got them all off. They're just making sure they don't try and come back. These two helicopters are I think I'm done with this part of very much. Okay.
size of the lump that was in my forearm. It's way down. Get this shit, man. Where should I put it at? Right here? Try moving it right here. That's not gonna work either.
fire. The kids. Get back! Get back! Jim. Excuse me. Not safe, not safe. The Secret Service has got the anger, and they are now trying to directly confront the crowd. The White House burned down.
Where are they? Where's Cuban Dollar? That's right,
Is that lawnmower with a gas tank on fire? This thing's got gas in it. And we have to be very careful. The chicken has burned. The chicken has burned.
They're coming over the barriers now.
Well, we're probably going to leave soon.
Hello? 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 Hey man, please, can you give me the phone please? Hello? 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 I got loud. Somebody was got my phone, but I don't. Yeah? Somebody said
Right in front of them. Where's your girlfriend going? Or
slow it down.
William. Hey, hold up, hold up.
They gotta keep beating you with it. Man. Hey, Kyle! Oh, shit. Fuck. God, I keep getting fucking yeah, bitch. Get back. You already saw it. Man, they started beating me. I was like, I ain't doing nothing. Oh, yo, they're up. Don't wait, Trey. Don't wait. They literally, the wall did nothing.
Miami.
Look at that.
Been out here for all 3 days of the DC protest. That was definitely the most intense moment.
I did nothing wrong.
And they're still firing into the crowd.
That's what they do.
Someone appears to just have been shot with a rubber bullet.
Not taking this shit anymore.
Decided that charge and push everybody out of that park right next to the White House.
CNN reporter.
We want change our police system. We're tired of untrained. We're tired of untrained police officers. We're tired of untrained police officers on the street. We're tired of it. Untrained police officers result to killing innocent black men because you need 4 officers to take them down. That is an untrained police officer, and we're tired of it. We want them off the street. We want better trained police officers, and we want them now. This is police brutality. I'm a white woman in America standing up for black people in this country, and this is what I get by the police who are here to protect and serve us.
So, Chris, I'm just guessing, but from what we know from here and from elsewhere, that looks like we can get
They punched me, they kicked me, they hit me with their batons, they punched me in my ribs. I'm a fighter, I've been fighting for 10 years.
Don't shoot!
Had to steal CNN's feed there. That was the woman that I saw got shot by a rubber bullet right in front of us.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Now walk away, pussies! Whoa! Bitch ass police!
Location, we're currently at Jackson Place and H Street.
Don't shoot!
Police are charging. Police are charging. Until the curfew goes into effect in DC. Eight minutes until it's considered illegal to even be on the streets. I apologize for the coughing.
It was never peaceful!
Remember to subscribe. We're 1,200 subs. 1,200 subs away from 50,000. Wow. Oh, you just hit that.
Get TT out of there. Get TT out of my street.
With the
get that nigga out my street.
Pepper
TT with Pepsi Cola,
pepper spray, or rubber bullet.
Bye, TT. Two capital.
They're shining lights now.
Out of here.
And I can't see.
Go all the way up. My phone ain't working.
We want change!
Bye-bye, TT. Have a nice day. Appreciate all y'all that's out here with me.
Flashing a light to try to blind the protesters.
It's going down. Look at this crazy stuff right here. This is what's going down. Bye-bye, PT.
We want change! We want change!
Watching hours.
Not hiding behind your badge and your gun! And give us change! We want
Sophie, I need you up in here, bro. I need you to clean it up, bro. I need you, bro. Where's the opening at for me to get out of here? Where can I get out of here at? Huh? Hey, killing black men in the country is not how y'all do it. That's not how you do it. You don't kill, you apply your knee to somebody's neck for 9 minutes and kill them. Oh, you're part of the club. You're part of the gang. You're part of the gang. You're part. Look what you got on. Look what you got on. You're part of the gang.
Someone is required
to worry about my safety, sir. Please don't tell me to my back. You're not required to worry about my safety, and you know that. You know that. You know you're not required to worry about my safety. Right? Just go ahead. You're dismissed. Go ahead with your gag. You're dismissed. That's what the fuck police officer said.
You're gonna try to get closer.
Straight like that. It's not from the slave plantation to where we are now.
You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about black people. Y'all don't give a fuck about minorities. Y'all don't give a fuck about nobody but yourself. Fuck you. You ought to be ashamed to hold a badge and a gun. You ought to be ashamed to represent this country. We're tired of you. We're tired of the police brutality. Fuck you. Fuck you. Take that shit off and then come see us. Fucking shit. George Floyd. George Floyd. George Floyd. George Floyd.
2 minutes until curfew. A lot of police activity surrounding us. I wonder if they're going to try to box in the protesters and arrest everybody left who's here.
You should stand with us, not against us! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Inside, you have to hide behind your badge and your gun! Y'all think that you have a badge and gun, you can beat a woman? Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you for not standing up! You're part of the problem!
DC, y'all.
You're part of the problem! Stand up! Stand up for us!
1 minute.
Stand up! Fucking assholes!
It's the final countdown,
Do your fucking job and protect the people! Do your job! Fucking assholes have to hide behind a fucking shield and baton and have to kick and punch a woman! I'll fuck you up and take that shit off! Take it off! Learn how to respect the fucking people of the United States of America who pay your fucking mortgages! We pay your mortgage! We pay your bills! And you kill us! Fuck
It's officially 11 o'clock.
Fuck you! Fucking assholes!
The DC curfew is now in effect.
Learn how to fucking respect the right way! Fucking bitch! Y'all some pussies! You have to shoot a 120-pound girl! Fuck you! Fucking pussies! And I wanted to be peaceful, but y'all just pissed me the fuck
can see some communication on their lines. They're gonna shut this shit down now.
Y'all don't know me. Y'all just pissed me the fuck off. Fucking shitheads. You work for races. Y'all are standing up for races instead of taking a knee for us. Y'all can't even fucking fight. Fuck y'all. Shitheads.
Move to the left. All right. I kind of liked my corner. I felt safe over there. Holy shit! That guy just got shot in the face.
Running, what y'all think I was gonna fall on the floor? Y'all hit me in the middle of my head. Medical hit the front lines doing their things. We appreciate you, sir. Y'all really gonna shoot me in my head, in the middle of my forehead? Y'all gonna shoot me in the front? Do you see my body, bro? Hey, bud. I got shot by that shit for real. Hey, you need help? I got you. Fuck that shit, nigga. You see me? I see you. You think I need help? Hey, wash it out. You get home. You good, baby? Give me milk. Give me milk.
No, we got water. Do you want us to rinse you off?
They're coming. They're getting ready to rain.
Okay, then I'm not
I'm not good.
sit up. Get that in your eyes. You take it off. There you go. It's on your eyes. Put it in your eyes. Just to your nose, put it down in your eyes. Just in your eyes, you need to rinse them, okay? Just your nose, like this.
I appreciate this.
I'm going to give you some gauze.
Hey,
okay? So we put your glasses. Here's a
Alright, you guys. Everything? Alright, bud.
Do you want some water to rinse your mouth with?
Open up your left eye.
Put it in your mouth and gargle it. Spit it out.
Can hear bullets ricocheting around me.
Oh my God!
What's the spread? They got a reform right there!
God. Police pushed up on the street we were just on. They're now forming shields. They have military. This is the National Guard, military police.
That's not me!
And they're starting to push up.
That's some bullshit.
They're just mass shooting fucking rubber bullets in the crowd. That got hit in the fucking leg and it fucking died. Ow! Fuck, that hurt, man. Remember, if you like rubber bullets, subscribe.
What the fuck is that, man?
Yeah, he needs to get water.
Police are pushing in. They're going to try to close this in. There's still thousands of people out here, guys.
I fuck with police, but I don't fuck with police.
Does anyone need me aid?
In their
We're going to move up and see what's going on here.
I just need to log in to Facebook.
Windows smashed on that car, which is stupid, but where you at?
Yeah, and the smoke.
Pocket club.
Leave your
appears to not be much going on over here, so we're gonna go back. Yang? Okay, I'll know. Turned into a street party on this section.
Gotta be safe. I don't want any problems with people.
That's where we just came from. Line of military police there. We're gonna check on what's going on this side. Remember, if you're new, the DC curfew kicked in at 11 EST. I expect by 12 they're gonna really try to clean this shit up and get everybody out. But we'll see, I don't know. There's still a lot of people out here.
We be here. It's way after 8 o'clock. We're not going nowhere until we're ready to go home. We're grieving. We're hurt. We have the right to hurt somewhere safe, and that's here. That's here. Together. You have a right to hurt and mourn. Don't let nobody take that right from you. We do it together. What's his name?
Thanks, bro. You good? All right, thank you. So yeah, what does it feel like? We're only a few feet away from George Floyd's murder.
Shit, man. I mean, these guys I didn't even realize we're coming up here, but it's surreal. You know, it's surreal, but it's very sobering too. You know, because seeing his image, he sparked a revolution. He sparked a revolution in the most militarized country in the world, the country that has the most superpower, has the world on lock, and his martyrdom sparked a revolution, man. And that's hard to do in America. You know, I think there's been times where it's been kind of happening, but this erupted in all over, all the cities in America, all the major cities. You know, people on the reservations are feeling it. You know, he's speaking for everybody that got murdered. His death spoke for everybody that got murdered by police. And that's important to note, that his death doesn't overshadow everyone else's death. That it magnifies it times 10. So we're bringing justice to everybody. And we thank him for his life. As me, as a native, I thank him for his life. And I hope he's in the next life with his ancestors and everybody who's living good. But out here, we're going to keep on fighting. We're going to keep on showing out, man. We're going to keep on making sure that the balance is met. Oh yeah.
Thank you. Talking about indigenous issues real quick, just to totally trans over. Pipelines, banks.
Yeah.
There was banks that were smashed here in Minneapolis. There was banks that were ran through, and they were set on fire.
Yeah.
Banks like Wells Fargo and U.S. Bank.
Hold on.
The reason why we right here is because there was 100-something. So they gonna catch us right here. They let them know where we at, right? So if they arrest all us right here, don't be afraid. They're gonna go everybody else. If they arrest
What's this?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Y'all the same crew?
No.
Y'all on different crews?
No. Yeah. My name is Nico.
I'm Brooke. I'm in indigenous media.
Oh, Lord. Hell yeah. Hey, no. Good to meet you again.
News reporting?
Yeah, I'm part of Unicorn Riot. Unicorn Riot. It's on my shirt. Yep, here we go.
Yeah.
What's your name? We ain't got a home. I'm Nico. Good to meet you, bro. I like your command.
I'm sorry. Y'all hear me? 5 o'clock. We need to put a plan. We need to start becoming a community and work together, come together. Amen. Where the grown man at?
Yeah. Last thing. Thank you. Yeah. You've been split up a couple times. Yeah. Banks got smashed. Yeah. I saw no dapple and no line 3. Literally spray painted on both of U.S. Bank and Wells Fargo.
KXL next, though.
KXL next. What? Yeah. Can you talk about that real quick? And KXL, where it's at?
We were saying, bro. Oh, here we go. Hey, we'll talk later.
It's like 4 times. Thank you, man. Good to see you.
Ain't no block parties. Ain't no dancing. Ain't no smoking and drinking. Because when I see those 8 streets, everybody was walking and letting that person down. They want us to be innocent. They want us to be right. They don't want us to see what's going on in the house. So we got to come in 5 o'clock. Y'all better get your shit sold. Y'all better be sold. Because I'm going to find
You're not going nowhere. There's no such a thing as a curfew out here.
I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. We made some noise, right? Okay. They got my face from here to Africa, from here to Washington, from here to Israel. Now, one thing we need to do is we need to come and we need to reverse this whole shit that they showing in the news.
Yeah. Let's go.
We need to stop with the violence. Yeah. We need to stop with all this shit that they try to say we are like monsters. Yeah. Because in their mind, we all
oh yeah.
You need a speaker.
You need a speaker.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. All my family is in every single state, and every state follow our rules.
Okay.
What we do, Milwaukee do, Chicago do, New York do, Dallas do, they walking up.
I don't care if you're African, I don't care if you're Arabian, I don't care if you're Caribbean, we all share the same skin color. We are black at the end of the day. So we all matter. We are all one.
Basically,
all right, guys?
even when nothing's happening,
we're going to make sure we're not going to lose any more people to the brutality and injustice. All right?
We out here.
So now there's a few people that are grabbing the mics, speak to the crowd. Any of you all want to speak about what brought you out here with the flag? That's cool. Would you? Okay, no problem, no problem. Peace and love. See you soon. Hey, you all want to speak about the solidarity you're showing right now at all?
Man, ain't no solidarity. It's all love. All love, respect, unity. We out here together. Everybody, see black, brown. You got Crip, Bloods out here. Everybody together. This is a whole neighborhood shit. Hey, if you look at the west side of St. Paul, how they protect their community, that's what you need to come do. Come together and protect your shit. Cause my mom and dad, your parents eat this shit. What we gonna eat? I can't go. I love Target, but this shit burned down. Why? Where my boxes at? I love my boxes. I do it my soul. I do. I ain't gonna even lie. Hey, where you shopping? You shopping at Target, right? That shit burned down. But hey, my mom and dad, we're gonna shop at. They need medicine. They need care. I have a job. He has a job. We have a job. I've been in a joint. I don't give a fuck. I've been in prison. I've been in jail. All that shit. I got a job, but I want better. I've been treated. I've been mistreated. Hey, see that guy? He got handcuffed on live TV. Why I'm going to jail? The cop told him nothing. No, why I'm going to jail? What did he say? No excuse, nothing. I do this shit every day. I go to jail. Why I'm going to jail? Shut up. Get in the car. Just like that. Just like that. Look, how you just grab me? That's how I get treated every day.
Where you from?
Leash leg. I'm from the city. This is my whole goddamn city. This is the goddamn city. Twin Cities. I love this shit. Everything's going up, and it's for a fucking reason. This ain't no bullshit. This is real shit.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Let me give you a card. My name is Nico.
I'm D, man.
Good to meet you.
I'll be following you on Facebook, man.
Oh, word. You already know? I'll give you one too, though. My name is Nico.
Thanks, brother. Be safe out here, man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate that. Yeah. It's dope. You see there's massive Mexican flags and the black and brown unity on the sign. You see the sign?
Oh, yeah.
Black and brown together.
Hey, this motherfucker that cost 3 borders here, and he worked hard.
Black and brown, baby. Black and brown.
Black and brown, baby.
Black and brown. We're in this together. Justice for George Floyd. Black lives matter.
Good work, man. Keep up the good work. Appreciate that.
We got a good crowd out here tonight.
Yes, I'll go over there and try to check the batteries and you can hear something.
You know what I mean? But
That's good advice.
One simple step, you can join the future. Take a knee.
I'm hungry.
Do something different. Do Why we gotta do this shit every month? Every month we gotta protest for what? Black lives matter. Put your pride aside. Fucking shameful. You don't get your paycheck, your brother. You ain't even love me. What matters to y'all? Who are you trying to fight? You're not being aggressive. You don't gotta move your shit already. He's not being aggressive. Calm down. It ain't that deep. Calm down.
I don't know how clearly he walking back and forth.
We all came out here to risk our lives for the lives we lost. We all came out here to risk our lives for the lives we lost. We'll get through. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I
can't breathe. I can't breathe. I want my fucking money. I can't breathe. I want my fucking money back. I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
I know. Y'all know what it feel like. Cause that's a terrifying situation. I can't breathe. I can't fucking breathe, bro. And y'all don't want to be in this situation. Y'all should be over here with us. Y'all should be sitting there. That shit don't work. Y'all want to beg for your life? Y'all do shit every month. Y'all do the thing. It's crazy that y'all think they give a fuck about y'all because they don't. They don't. They would gladly get rid of any one of y'all any day for any reason. But these are people who shoot shit. These are ones that come in. That's the thing.
Okay, chat. This is going to be the most hectic vote of all time. 1 to stay here, 2 to move. I already forgot. What was 1 and 2 again? Was 2 to move or stay?
They put the black people right at the front. Look at you.
All of them.
Look
Every
at you.
single person up there is black.
Look at you.
They got the white people in the back.
Look at you.
Y'all stand for this?
Look, they separated you from their table and put you in the front.
Alright. It seems like some people want to stay, some want to move. So we'll stay for now, it looks like.
You're the first to go, just like in the movies.
And by move, I would mean like we would try to find something else. Apparently, a few blocks down, there's like cars flipped over on fire, but I don't know whether to believe that.
What's up? Where we going?
And we're moving now because apparently their police are coming in from the back. Yeah, they're trying to create a. Those are police on bikes there. They're trying to.
Hold the line. Hold the line.
So, yeah, including, as I've been corrected, the National Guard as well is there at the southeast corner of Farragut Square. Again, my impression seems to be that more so than defending anything in particular, or punishing any particular action, it seems like basically the police's actions are just guided by trying to put the hurt onto the protesters to get them away from the White House. All of the police pushes have basically come, I'd say, semi-randomly. Like, they're not connected to what the protesters are actually doing, and they're just for the sake of pushing people back and away. Again, of course, the protesters are doing a lot of stuff, but it's not. But the police don't seem to be responding to that. The tactic seems to just be getting them away from the White House.
Hey, fool! Look, leave.
Okay, are you near the Farragut? Are you near the Farragut West Metro Station?
If there's nothing happening over on this side, we'll turn around and go back for the people who wanted to stay.
No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace!
No peace! No peace! No peace!
Hey man, me too. Me too.
Oh no, dude, I remember Occupy Denver.
Really?
Oh yeah, remember Occupy Wall Street, Denver? I remember that shit. We'll have a ghost down here.
Nah, I don't do drugs this time tonight. But I did find some goggles. We were just by the Ogden and people were talking shit, so now we're going to the Capitol.
There he is! Found him!
What up?
What up?
Yeah.
Where's Breed, everybody? We don't know. Okay, well,
she said that she was just at the Ogden.
Hey, careful, dude. They got the big cases started popping off right down there.
Trust me, I was trying to find him and see her.
Sorry, I can't. I already told you guys I can't do that kind of shit.
I see I got a
I can't, dude. I already said I was going this way. If you guys want to go get her and him, do it. I can meet up with you guys, but it's like, I was literally just at the Ogden, dude. Like, I gotta do what I gotta do, man. You guys want to go do something different, please do it. Don't let me stop you. I'm living my own life. That's all it is. Well, yeah, if you guys want to check out Adam's stream, go check it out. There's always a good idea to get multiple perspectives. That's the thing, you know what I mean?
Lee, if you can hear me and you find out where they're saying like that CVS and Target is, if you could send me a pin of the location, anybody that wants me to go somewhere, message me a pin.